Well, let's get this legal stuff out of the way first before we get into the full introduction, shall we? Should I play the Jeopardy music while you wait? This is Etep Wakuian of the Place to Be Reviews. Hail the Fandom Menace. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, hail the Fandom Menace as we head down the final stretch to the rise of Soy Walker. Terrifying, isn't it? Welcome back to the Place to Be Reviews. We've missed you. We've got another video coming up right now. Today we're going to talk about what the nerd has said about how The Last Jedi saved Star Wars. The Last Jedi didn't break Star Wars, it saved it. This is by Lindsay Romaine. And as we all know, lettuce has been infected with E. coli, much as I think the author of this quote-unquote article, her brain has been infected by E. coli. As we see Murray Sue here. Follow the nerd as a save today. Will a week ever go by where we aren't talking about The Last Jedi? The 8th film in the main Star Wars saga came out 2 years ago, and yet it's routinely the subject of mass hysteria on social media. Is it overrated or underrated? Did writer-director Rian Johnson break the franchise or shatter blockbuster storytelling boundary? Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. Your word salad here so far, it wasn't blockbuster storytelling boundaries. It was trash. Okay? It's trash. The audience score on I'm sorry, I'm shaking my little desk here as I'm trying to move my computer and my camera. I'll get a better angle here. I know you guys don't want to be that close up to me now that I'm in HD, but yeah, scary looking right now, I know. And I'm just getting over a cold, so I'm gonna apologize that I take a couple sips of water during this video, as I'm kind of just now getting my voice back. But yeah, so was it a healthy thing for the fandom or a sign that it's beyond repair? Littered with folks who don't know what they want, bolstered by a company that doesn't understand its power. Okay, let me break this down and make this so simple that Lindsay Romaine Lettuce could even understand it. Kathleen Kennedy and her sycophants at Disney have infused intersectional feminism and identity politics into a beloved franchise that's set in a galaxy far, far away. Was there always political influences from the real world in there? Yes. Were they ham-fisted and just bash you over the head obvious? Not all the time. No. And not even close to what they are now. To say, and that's fun. The funny thing is that people are like, well, that's just, there's always been politics in Star Wars. The Last Jedi was bad. You're just a man, baby. No. This is set in a galaxy far, far away. So you're telling me that in a galaxy far, far away, all the problems are going to be exactly the same as they are in reality here? Really? Really? So we need intersectional feminism and a literal purple-haired third-wave feminist in Star Wars? Really? She tells the male, the patriarchy, you're just a trigger-happy flyboy, blah, blah, blah. I've got a plan. You don't need to know what it is. And then hyperspace rams a fucking Star Destroyer. Completely breaks canon. The entire movie is precipitated on the ships running out of gas. Really? That's what we're doing? Alright. The release of The Rise of Soy Walker, the final film in the episodic franchise, is a mere week away. And with it comes another refresh on The Last Jedi discourse. But this time, a lot of it's coming from Star Wars cast members and creatives. Yeah, they're bashing on the movie now. So is everybody going to attack them and call them neckbeards and incels and man babies and basement-dwelling alt-right trolls, Russian bots? Huh? You going to call John Boyega a white supremacist? Because he bashed this movie too. In a recent New York Times profile, director J.J. Abrams, who kicked off the sequel trilogy with The Farce Awakens and returns for Rise, spoke of the divisive Jedi. It's a bit of a meta approach to the story, he told the paper. I don't think that people go to Star Wars to be told this doesn't matter. That's, I don't agree with Jar Jar Abrams on much, but that is it. Elsewhere, actors Daisy Ridley and John Boyega expressed relief that Abrams was back. In the Times profile, Ridley said she cried at the news he'd returned because of the safety he provided on the set. Boyega had a more pointed reaction. Even as a normal person in the audience, I wanted to see where that story was going, he said, referring to the story Abrams set up in The Force Awakens, and that was, in his opinion, thrown for a loop in The Jedi. Now, that thrown for a loop is putting it mildly. They made Finn look like a bumbling idiot. They had a perfect opportunity to humanize a stormtrooper, give proper organic representation that everybody could get behind to a person of color. I mean, that's what all this is about, right? You're calling us man babies because you're saying we're racist and we're bigots. I'm saying this was a perfect opportunity to showcase a representation story that made sense. It was organic. You've got the stormtrooper who has a crisis of conscience. He turns against the First Order, joins the resistance, and then you just make him look like a bumbling idiot. You take his redemption arc away by, having Rose Tico, we don't shave, we shave what we love, right. That stupid line. The human potato sack Rose Tico, which is sad because Kelly Marie Tran is a beautiful young lady and seems like a sweet woman. So yeah, I don't condone the harassment that she got online. Not at all. It's disgusting. But it wasn't as widespread as they made it seem. Like, she just left social media because social media is overall bad for your mental health. Trust me, I spend a lot of time on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram because of my podcast and my YouTube channel, more than I would like to. I mean, my goodness. But yeah, so anyway, in a separate interview with Hypebeast, Boyega said he disagreed with a lot of the choices in The Last Jedi and said the movie felt iffy to him, and that's him still being kind of political, not political in the sense of politics, but just kind of towing the line until the movie's released and he's now no longer under contract. Abrams said the actors are certainly entitled to their opinions, but the specific way these quotes are angled seem intentional on the eve of the rise of Skywalker. They feel like another one of Disney's controlled marketing narratives to both have their Star Wars cake and eat it too. The Force Awakens marketing put a lot of emphasis in the film's use of real sets and practical effects, distinguishing it from George Lucas's prequel trilogy while quietly throwing it under the bus. Yeah, that was... The prequels are far, even the Attack of the Clones is better than The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens and Solo. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, though. A brief making of documentary on the film's Blu-ray never once mentions Harrison Ford's unfortunate on-set accident, one that derailed production for months and forced major rewrites. The non-saga Star Wars films that faced serious behind-the-scenes troubles were promptly swept under a rug. The Disney era of Star Wars, like most things Disney, prefers the denial approach to controversy. Reference it subtly, if at all, then move on. Boilerplate answers from the cast and crew during press interviews for The Rise of Soy Walker maintain another narrative, that The Last Jedi didn't derail Abrams' master plan, but the choices weren't ones that he'd make. The repeat adage that Episode 9 is an ensemble piece, emphasizing the relationship between Rey, Finn, and Poe, feels like a backhanded dig at Jedi, which kept the trio apart. It was hard for all of us because we were separated, Boyega told Hypebeast of the filming of The Last Jedi. What a trash movie. It's a fair point. The Rise of Skywalker marks the first time the three main heroes will interact as a core group, but that isn't the fault of The Last Jedi or Rian Johnson. Well, it kind of is, because he took them, put them in all these different spots and situations. So he wrote and directed it, his first draft script, and framing it as such feels misguided. The Force Awakens also kept those characters apart. They've never functioned as a trio or been set up as one. Rian Johnson inherited a host of cliffhangers and half-finished arcs in The Last Jedi that Abrams teed up in The Force Awakens. Abrams separated Rey from the main group, teased and obfuscated her lineage, left Finn in a coma without a pledge to the Resistance, never set up the state of the galaxy post-Return of the Jedi, plopped Snoke into the plot with any context, and put Luke into isolation. Luke felt responsible. Han Solo says of Luke's disappearance in The Force Awakens, he just walked away from everything. I don't even know where to start with this. This is just ridiculous. Johnson's film took all those dangling threads and weaved them into a beautiful story. Okay. That's being a little too complimentary of somebody who can't write. I mean, if you really sit back and tell me that Rian Johnson's a genius, what has he done? Brick? Looper? Last Jedi? And spare me Knives Out, because I watched it. It was trash. I didn't pay to see it, but you want a spoiler? The whole movie's a dig on illegal immigration and white privilege. It's Rian Johnson's Twitter feed, okay? There you go. We're done. Abrams, let's see, where we at? Johnson. So weaved them into a beautiful story, one that demonstrably provoked a fandom a little too obsessed with idol worshipping. It didn't smear the legacy of characters so much as it deepened and matured them. It made them better. Yeah, because making Luke blue cow, titty milk, sea cow drinking isolationist who almost murdered his nephew. That didn't damage his character. That just made him mature, right? Right? Okay. Leia's loss of faith and Luke's restoration of hope for her in the galaxy cracked open a universe of possibility. Oh, yeah, it did. One that undercut the notion that the Force makes you inherently more important and made Star Wars even more for everyone than originally envisioned. Jesus Christ. Okay, this is where I'm going to stop you right here, Lindsay Romaine Lettuce, because not everything is for everybody. All right, I'm sorry. Let's use Charlie's Angels as an example. Elizabeth Banks said this isn't for men, this is a girl power movie. And then when the movie bombed financially and critically, you want to come out and blame men and toxic masculinity for your movie bombing when you said it wasn't for us. So I went and watched it so I could review it because I did a trailer reaction. I gave you my $7 plus a couple bucks for concessions, that you get in kickbacks from the theater, obviously. So I watched your trash, and it was trash. It wasn't funny. All these critics saying Kristen Stewart was funny. They don't know funny. I'm sorry. The movie was bland. There was no chemistry. Much like The Last Jedi, it was just a dumpster fire. Let's see. Abrams critiquing the meta, quote, qualities of The Last Jedi feels backwards in a few vital ways. Oh, come on. First, it insinuates that The Force Awakens wasn't meta, even though it's literally the story of a new generation of the Luke Skywalker worshipping rebel wannabes implanted into a fantasy adventure stocked with recognizable characters and totems. That's about as meta-textual as it gets. Well, do you want to sell tickets, or do you want people to be pissed off and tell you your movie's garbage? You can make a good story, still have fan service and the characters that we love, and introduce new characters, but see, you want to go about it and tell us, no, you're bad, women good, the Force is female, this isn't for men anymore. That was Kathleen Kennedy's message. Okay? Nobody was really bitching about Jyn Erso being a leading lady in Rogue One that made over $1 billion, right? Felicity Jones' acting isn't the best. I didn't dislike the character, though. She wasn't a Mary Sue or anything, Rey is a fucking Mary Sue. Sorry, I'm not sorry. It's just a bad character. Nothing wrong with Daisy Ridley. Well, her recent comments are kind of insane, but oh well. It also suggests that Johnson somehow compromised or undermined Abrams' own vague world building when he never made any clearly defined choices in the first place. He outlined a trilogy, walked away, then returned with a simmering wave of internet vitriol that could either be eradicated or weaponized to sell the next product. Jesus. Could it just be that the movie wasn't good? I mean, seriously. Why won't these people just admit it? This is just as protected as Captain Marvel, and it's fucking hilarious. The Times comments are soft enough that you can read them both ways, but the disappointing aspect comes from the coded commentary and the things left unsaid. None of the promotion contends with the truly vile things happening in the fandom. Their own co-star Kelly Marie Tran, oh, here we go, was bullied off social media, publicly derided by fans, so-called fans, after The Last Jedi. Oh my God, you can't be on Twitter anymore? What? Boyega spent most of his screen time with Tran, so his vocal dissatisfaction with the group separation sounds like an added dig at her, a way to validate those bad fans' mean-spirited rants, even if it's unintentional. Likewise, others have been on the receiving ends of targeted hate, death threats, rage campaigns, and personal attacks for simply liking things about The Last Jedi, expressing, oh, fuck you. I'm sorry, fuck you. You're an idiot. Oh, God. Whatever you're paid for writing, it's too much. No one's saying dissent is a bad thing. Well, you kind of are. You're talking out of both sides of your mouth. Excuse me. Healthy debate is necessary. The actors don't have to love the movies they're in, but it's all about presentation. Loading a New York Times profile with coded disses at The Last Jedi a week before The Rise of Skywalker comes out isn't even a smart way to sell your movie. Well, it kind of is. It makes the entire franchise look retroactively weaker. No, just a sequel trilogy, idiot. And it sets up major questions about what the sequel trilogy is even about. Nothing. The sequel trilogy is about nothing. It's full of hollow characters and identity politics. That's all. That's what it is. And destroying the characters that, from the original trilogy. Will Rise of Skywalker feel like a real movie? or just a checklist of ways to cater to backlash? They're not catering to anything. Will it walk back the important themes of The Last Jedi? Especially Rey's realization that legacy doesn't define her, just to satisfy some quota. Is Palpatine back just to woo the fans uncomfortable with a more challenging villain like Kylo? How is Kylo Ren a challenging villain? Rey beat his ass every time they've fought. She's an untrained scrapper from Jakku, but she just beats Kylo Ren's ass every time. Never went through any hardship. Never had really real adversity. I mean, this is just pathetic. I mean, just say it, girl. You're defending Rey because you're a female, all right? That's fine. If you're that small-minded, that's all right. Go ahead. I mean, if she was a good character, she was a good character. She's not, though. She's not. It's not a good character. It's impossible to say without seeing it, and it's impossible to know what the future of Star Wars will be, regardless of how the film plays. The smart play for Disney is to listen to the wisdom put forth in The Last Jedi and how to rebuild and make something new for the next generation of could-be fans. No, it's not going to work, you idiot. Something less obsessed with idols of the past than the awe and intrigue of worlds yet undiscovered. We are what they grow beyond, Yoda tells Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. That's not Yoda, that's Boda and Jake Soywalker. That's the true burden of all masters. It's time for Star Wars to grow beyond. Oh my God. Okay, so, of course, the shill media, 454 reviews, 91% certified fresh. Audience score tells another story. 43%, 213,351 reviews. All right, so they moved the goalpost for Captain Marvel, so they couldn't have Russian bots down. Okay, so you really think that your movie is that important that a country is going to try to undermine a movie aggregator site? I got to scratch my head, and I don't even have any hair. It hurts. It hurts my brain, this level of stupidity and hubris on the part of these filmmakers and people like Kathleen Kennedy, who unleashed her dogs, her little boot-licking dogs like Chuck Wendig and Pablo Hidalgo and Ryan Johnson onto Twitter to insult people, but then have the audacity to call them neckbeards and misogynists and basement-dwelling incels and trolls because they didn't like a movie. Okay, I'm not excusing the people that went overboard and that did go after Kelly Marie Tran, because there was some, and that's wrong. I never pretended that was okay, not once. But you can say whatever you want about a movie, and if somebody can't handle a different opinion and they have to come at you with a personal insult, well, my God, they're just stupid. I mean, that's just stupidity and immaturity at its best right there. And like I said, I don't ever respond to comments with an insult unless I am insulted first. And even then, I'll just try to kind of swerve it because it doesn't solve anything. And I've been swatting cucks away all day in a comment thread on IGN about this movie. So, in this topic of Kelly Marie Tran. So, The Last Jedi was garbage. Okay, Lindsay Romaine lettuce, it was garbage. All right? Your access media's 91% means nothing. I always just discount that score. I mean, let's be honest here, because I've watched every episode of Batwoman, and for the critics to give this show a 78, though it needs more time to develop its own identity to truly soar, Batwoman's fun and stylish for a season, to step in the right direction for representation. Not a good superhero show. It's a step in the right direction just for representation. So that proves right there, you've just undercut your own. You don't care about the entertainment quality because the show is not good. You've got 7,430 reviews on here that the average is a 12%, and you're gonna blame guys like me for that. I watch every episode of the show, hoping that I'll be proved wrong. Just like The Last Jedi. I would love to be wrong about all the leaks going into The Rise of Skywalker and that it's going to be an awesome movie and it'll win back the Star Wars fans like me that hate Disney Star Wars because it's garbage, but we're willing to pat them on the back and say, hey, The Mandalorian is what we wanted, man. It's great. And then I got insulted today. You just like The Mandalorian because it's brainless fan service. Oh, doesn't go in a new direction. It's basically the lone wolf and cub story. Yeah? Well, it works, and people like it. So nobody said we wanted new original characters, and this Mandalorian character is, because it's not Boba Fett, it's not Jango Fett. We've never seen these characters before. So this is good. This is what we wanted. I love The Mandalorian. I really enjoyed every episode so far. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It's something that my son and I watch together. He doesn't watch The Last Jedi. He didn't even like it because he likes the originals and the prequels. He's 4 years old, and I haven't sat there and beat into his head that it's garbage. We were watching it. I put it on for him because my wife, for some reason, bought me the Blu-ray. Even after I told her I thought it was garbage, she went and bought me the Blu-ray for that and The Force Awakens. So they're currently sitting out my garage, and I will be filming at the target range with those strapped to the target with, and I will be putting some either 223 or 5.56 rounds through them, or possibly some 40 cals. So we'll play with that because I don't care. It's trash, and that's how I'm going to treat them. I'm going to throw it away like garbage. But no, he enjoys the prequels. I mean, Empire Strikes Back is his favorite movie, much like it is mine, because at his age, I fell in love with the Hoth scene and the characters and the stormtroopers and everything. What do we see now? We see nothing. We see a horrible lead that has earned nothing, gained nothing, been through no adversity, suffered no losses. You had Finn, who was a great character. Proper representation, man, done right. JJ, I don't even like you, and you set Finn's story up nicely, and Rian Johnson shit on it. So, John Boyega, I don't really follow his career outside of Star Wars. As far as his other roles, I know he's been in Pacific Rim, which I never wasted my time watching because it didn't look like it was that good of a movie, honestly. But no, this is just, this whole argument is ridiculous. Now, I don't disrespect women in general, but I mean, if you're gonna come at me and make remarks about me personally or my family, then the gloves come off. But honestly, I'm probably just going to block these idiots. I just left it open so I get screenshots of their stupidity. And it's always the ones with the fake profile pictures that talk the most shit. So, with that being said, I'm Tepo Kuin of The Place to Be Reviews. I apologize for being a bit curt and obtuse at the end of this video, but personal attacks are just hilarious to me. So, The Last Jedi is trash. The Rise of Skywalker is going to be garbage. If you watched the boardroom last night, you saw I went through all the leaks from Jedi Paxis, which the trailers pretty much back up most of it. So leave your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, if I don't see you, have a great day and a pleasant tomorrow. There is indeed another video coming up soon. And Baby Yoda says, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, bitch slap the like button. And don't forget, here's all the places you can find us on social media. Instagram and Twitter at The Place to Be Reviews. Facebook, The Place to Be Reviews official fan page. The Place to Be Reviews page. YouTube, Tepo Kuin's The Place to Be Reviews. Back catalog, Spotify, Anchor, and iTunes. Have a great day.